live. And
It's about time.
I'm gonna do one more tweet. I'm gonna record the intro and post. We
Okay.
won't do that tonight. Just give me a second. Thank you for being patient out there in chat land. We'll be starting up in any second. 49.
Twitch tells me that you're offline still.
Come and knock on our door.
Try and refresh. Yeah, it's showing it. I'm offline here. Let me refresh. Because OBS has me online.
Yeah, now I refreshed. And you're, oops.
Hi.
Hi.
Hola.
There we go.
Hi.
All right.
Mi amigos.
Hello.
Why is my... All right, this might not be the best quality. We're still working out the bugs. If you guys are having issues in chat, or if you're having issues with the stream, let me know in chat, please. We're going to be starting in a second. I'm going to pop my window out again because I'm an old man and I can't read. There we go. All right. Okay.
Yep.
The tweet is
sent.
We set? Are we set?
Ooh.
Where's my show notes?
Somewhere.
All right, show notes are there. Oh, this is gonna be a pain in my ass.
Still not ready?
I'm not ready. No.
Dolvik says your volume is pretty low.
My volume is low. How's that? Better?
I'll have you know, I left the comforts of Barnes and Nobles to come sit in my car in the cell phone waiting lot so that I could Skype in for this, Gord. You're letting me down.
I would have been ready.
Okay, it's my fault, okay? It's okay. Jeez.
Volume is low, though. All right. I don't know if that's an OBS.
And I think something's wrong with my Twitch because I can't get you at
Let's try that. How's that sound?
Try refreshing it. Refreshing the Twitchers.
Better. Good.
Is that Cora drinking water or something?
That was. Could you hear me swallowing?
Yeah. Totally.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, my throat's a little dry, so I'm actually going to have some more. So enjoy listening to the sound of me swallowing water.
That's so...
That's
so lovely.
Very weird.
It's so lovely. I love it.
Yeah. You know what I think it is? It's because I had so that
I
could hear you guys, I had to plug in my iPhone's headphone set thing, and the mic part is right next to my throat. So it is able to pick up in high depth the sound of every swallow.
Gross.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
All right, how's that?
It's not my fault.
That was also the sound of me burping. You're welcome.
How's that?
I don't notice a difference, but I'm not on Twitch.
Come on, chat.
Okay, something's not right here.
And apologies for the burp. Apparently I drank too much water.
Better? All right, buddies. That's about as high.
Unhappy children.
Yeah, that's about as high as I can go. That's it. Okay. All right.
Are we starting? Are we doing a thing?
We're doing a thing.
Yep. All right, hit record. Oh, hold on, gotta close my door. I'll be right back.
Ooh, don't hit my car.
Are they backing in?
I don't think he's decided yet. Oh, no,
Okay.
no, he had to stop because somebody is backing in. On
Maybe
my left.
I have the wrong link. What is the link
What's the link for what?
for our Twitch broadcast? Because
Twitch.tv.
I'm still showing offline.
Twitch.tv/SOTD_podcast.
Ah,
Oh, I see. You got it incomplete on the show notes.
yep.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Oops.
I fixed it
There
for
we
you just now.
are. Okay, now I'm ready to go.
Did you do a
You're-
tweet?
No,
We're
not
gonna
yet.
get started with just enough time for me to be like, "Hey guys," and I gotta go.
That's Gallus' fault, for the record.
You seem to be blaming a lot of things on Gallios, and yet
And yet, this
We're
was all
still not
stuff that I
going.
was going to do half an hour ago, Mr. Gallios. Is that correct? You're muted, Dick.
Yes, you are correct.
All right, we're ready.
okay,
We are ready.
let's go.
All right, hit record. Hello and welcome to Shadow of the Dragon. This is episode number 49.
Row, row! 49! Come on, y'all!
Yay!
Give a woo, woo, woo!
That needs like a big cymbals and a crash. Right?
What is that voice? Who is that voice? Who is that voice? All right,
Are you
that's
going to
that's
say
Miko.
something?
I was waiting for Miko to say hi.
Hi. I'm sorry.
All right, that's okay. Yeah, join us tonight. We have a full cast. Miko is going to be joining us, as well as Cora on the phone, because she is just the busy little bee lately. So before the police come, Cora, how's things going? You can explain why the police might be coming as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm actually on the phone on Skype in the cell phone parking lot of the airport, waiting for a friend to get in. 7, but you're only supposed to be in the parking lot for 20 minutes, and I think I've already been here like 40. So if I suddenly just bail, like gotta go, it's because the popo have arrived and they're skedaddling me out of the cell phone parking lot. So yeah. But it hasn't happened yet, so I'm thinking maybe not going to. Hopefully. We'll see.
Cool.
Anyways, but I'm here for a little bit. I will have to bail, though, when I get that text of, hey, the plane landed, so.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well,
Yeah.
we're
Just an
happy that you're here
absolute
because we
rebel,
missed you.
Rebel.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here for Miko's first, or at least part of her first episode with us. So exciting. Oh.
So,
Yay.
so this is Miko's first show. Miko's going to be the 4th co-host on the show now. So it's going to be me, Gallios, Cora, and Miko. So we're very excited about that.
There's a
Um,
balance, right? Cora's no longer the single female.
Well, we're kind
there's
of
an
filling it.
estrogen
So,
balance at birth. Yay.
so 2 guys, 2 girls, which is balance. We have me at the salt end of the spectrum and Cora at the sugar end. And then we have Gallios, who's at the only good at one game mode thing, and Miko, who's good at just about all of them.
I wouldn't say that, but
No, I'm
thanks.
just picking on Gallios. So a couple notes. Yeah, there's one above my nipple too, Romo. I threw this overlay together about 5 seconds ago because I won't say it again, but we all know why. So just have to excuse us for the first show. So yeah, this is exciting. From here forward, we're doing our recordings live. So the audio podcast will still release on Mondays, and we're gonna be on every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, to record. Yay!
Yay!
You guys happy too?
Very.
You sound it, buddy.
I know somebody just walked into my room, so I'm kind of muting the mic.
Oh no,
So
that's
you
fine.
got distracted. That's okay.
That's okay. I'm incredibly distracted right now because there's a very good-looking guy in a suit playing with a puppy.
Okay.
Literally
So anyway,
in front of my car.
So anyway,
So-
oh
Yeah.
God. Anyway, we have a lot of news. It's like there was so much stuff that came out this week, both through official channels and over Reddit. So let's just jump into it with Cora. Why don't we
Yes.
continue with you? Were you able to play this week?
I hopped into the game for a little bit, but my computer it's the laptop, and it still doesn't really like playing Guild Wars. So I need to get a cool mat like you guys have suggested and see if that helps the situation. Because I hopped into the Heart of Thorns maps. I was trying to work in them, and the computer crashed. But I also realized just from the little bit that I was playing, I think I played maybe 40 minutes before the computer crashed. It's been 2 years since I really played Heart of Thorns maps, and I still don't really like the Heart of Thorns maps. They're not designed for people who play like me, which are single players. I cannot go into those maps. There are certain events that are literally by design. You cannot do them without a group of people. They're like there's one where you have to open the pods, and they all have to be open at the same time. One person cannot run from one pod to the next and get them all open. You have to have 3 people on them. So to design maps where it's telling me these are not maps for you because you are primarily a solo player, that's kind of not fun.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to get your all's help of like, we need to schedule a time where there's going to be enough of us on there so that I can go in and finish achievements and grind out the final masteries that I need. Because I just wind up going in and then getting frustrated and then quitting the game and not going back on for a couple days because I'm still annoyed.
Well, when you get situated, I remade a Mesmer that I'm running through the jungle right now. I want to capture all the hero points for Chronomancer. So
Okay.
I'll let you know when I'm going through.
Yeah, I might just break down and go back to my storage unit and try to find all the cables and hook up my massive behemoth of a desktop somehow. I don't know how I will make that work. There must be a way.
Yeah, if you just have an HDMI cable, the power cord, maybe see if you can hook it up to a nice big TV.
The problem is the desktop doesn't have Wi-Fi. Like it doesn't. The friend who built it didn't build it with the Wi-Fi
because she's smart.
adapters, so you have to plug it in. And I don't know where. One, if I have a cable long enough, I would have to go buy one. And 2, I don't know if the room that I'm in has a port for Ethernet. So it's going to be some investigating, but I'm quickly getting to the breaking point of this laptop is not going to work.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah.
Try the cool mat. That might help.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? You know, when this audio releases, when the podcast releases, we will be 5 days away.
5 days away. It's a
I'm
little
so
insane.
excited.
You got to
I'm
get
so
your
excited.
desktop out. You got to.
I know. I'm going to have to figure something out because I want to be able to play and not have to worry about it crashing.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
That's rough. I said it, off the air, but I really feel like good things are coming your way. They better
I hope
be.
so.
They better
Yeah,
be.
me too. I feel it.
It's been an interesting 3 years for me, from hitting a very, very low point to climbing up and then having like a few slips where, 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing. And lots of, even my best friend is like, seriously, why does the universe just keep pooping on you? I'm like, I don't know. It's trying, it's fertilizer. It's trying to put me in the spot where I'm supposed to be so that I grow the best.
That's right.
That's a
So-
good attitude to have.
Just need a little more
mean,
sun.
Yeah. So hopefully something good is coming soon.
Mhm.
That
Good.
I won't be jobless and homeless for much longer. Because as much as I appreciate, the kindness of friends letting me stay with them,
Mhm.
jobless and homeless really is not a fun and comfortable spot to be in.
Yeah.
Even if you're like, yeah, I'll just stay in this guest bedroom for the rest of my life. No, it doesn't work.
No, definitely not.
So,
Been
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Everybody has those times, but we'll see. At least the game will launch, and hopefully I'll be able to get in, and the expansion will launch, and I'll get in, and I'll have tons of time to play, because unemployed means you have all the time in the world to do things.
Yeah, that's my birthday weekend, so I'm gonna get some time in on Friday, and then I'm gonna be pretty indisposed on Saturday until probably midday Sunday. So I'm just gonna pace myself, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'll have some playtime tomorrow evening and Sunday.
So will I. I'm so excited.
Good.
Got some playtime.
I know, right? It's like, ah! All right, so Gallus, what have you been up to in game, man?
About 5'6.5", but
In game?
in all seriousness, no, I finished Nevermore.
Congrats.
Just like I said,
I
I
saw
would
that
before the
tweet.
X Pack.
Good man, good man.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I had enough gold to buy a bunch of orbs, and I started making the amalgamated gemstones out of the orbs, and I got lucky. I was hoping for a big score, because Romo was like, "No, you just stay the course, man. Stay the course. Keep doing those orbs. Keep using the orbs." So I kept doing the orbs, and right after he said that, I was like, you know what? I logged in. He said, sometimes you'll get 25. And I mean, the very next one, 25. And it was a big boost to my confidence. And so I just kept on going. And I finally got enough to where I was 8 amalgamated gemstones short. And I said, screw this crap. And I went ahead and just bought the 8 stones
Yeah.
to be done with it.
Yeah.
And so, so I got that. And it was all I needed. I had to run those, I ran the hot maps for 3 straight weeks, which was really, really, really weird. In fact, I went back to play World versus World this week, and I am completely lost. So I'm having to start all over. And I've been working on my Druid that I haven't done in a long time. There's been some folks that wanted me to do some builds, so I'm practicing with this one. I'm gonna make a frontline heal Druid. So I'm practicing with this one, and then I'll also gonna create a PvE Druid. I have yet to build one for raids, but I kind of think the one that I've been using for World v World might actually work with raids. I just need to change a couple of things up, and it'll work just fine. So anyway, I'm doing that, and other than that, I just been working, and that's it.
Yeah.
What about you?
What about you, Miko?
I've been working on the Shining Blade all week.
God.
And so I went into World versus World. You guys gave me some good tips on Twitter about popping all of the boosters. So I got that reward track for Gift of Battle about 50% done. And I should be finishing up that reward track. I don't know if it's going to be tonight or tomorrow or sometime this weekend.
Definitely tomorrow, if not tonight.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming to help you.
All the boosts, I got that 50% with about, I think it must have been like 3.5, 4 hours that it took me to get that. And I was just roaming around. I went in with Star, my friend Star. She goes into World versus World a lot more often than I do. And so I had never been into the desert borderlands. So that just goes to show you. Yeah. I hadn't been into World versus World since before Heart of Thorns.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was like a lowly little rank 14. I ranked up like 3 ranks while I was in there. I got the Catmander tag.
Oh, good for you.
was super
That's a
cool.
must.
Yes.
I don't have that yet.
I went and I was like, oh, the cat mender tag's got to be in here. And I looked it up really quick on the wiki to see where it was. And I was like, okay, let me pull up Ian's guide. And so I watched how she jumped into the room. And I fell a lot of times, but I finally got in.
Nice.
And I got the cat mender. And I've just been spending all my gold on the Shining Blade and all of the mithril and all of the elderwood that it takes. And it's painful.
Did
how
you get
much
the
money that's taking.
Did you get the WW Home Instance cats while you were in there?
I did not, because one of them wants a gift of battle, and I'm not giving it to him.
I have
I'm
one.
like, no, I'm keeping it because I got to make the sword because it's pretty and I need it.
Yeah, I have one, so I have to get the food, and then I'm gonna go up there again and get it because those cats do a when you have both of them in your home instance, they do a full stack, empower, and then they charge at each other, and kind of the big pow bam boom stickies go up there, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
I love the cats. I've got pretty much all of them. I think I'm missing, other than the 2 cat mender ones. I think I'm missing like 3 or 4.
I think I only have
the black
like
ones
one.
that fight with each other, the ones that throw the snowballs. Those are fun.
Yeah, those are cute too. But I have to get the WW cats.
Yeah.
I think I have maybe 1 or 2. I think I have the snowball cat, and then I think I have a ghost cat.
Yeah, go to Romo's freaking home instance. You can't walk in there without stepping on a cat.
I haven't been since he's gotten all the cats. He took me in there once. Parkland took me first, and then Romo took me through his to get a lot of mats a while back, and it's nuts, man. I think I've got like 1 tree in my home instance.
Oh my god! All right, anything else, Miko?
That's it. Just been having fun, trying to prepare for Path of Fire.
Yeah.
I still can't believe we're so close. I feel like there's so much that I need to do. Like I need to go and get hero points, but I keep sitting at crafting stations and mithril, elderwood.
Yep. So I beat Karen with Miko's help. Our raid group. We recorded the last show on Saturday morning, and it was that Saturday night that we beat Karen, and it was incredible. It was on second time. And it was so much fun. And it was like, we practiced for months, weeks. And there was just one time where we were pushing the escort and stronghold. And I was like, we're going to beat this. Like, I could feel it. And that feeling came over me. We're at like 5%. And I was like, no, this isn't going to happen. Stop doing this to yourself. Yeah. And but we downed them. So we're going to try again tomorrow night.
We got them again last week.
Yeah.
So that's 2
I was
weeks
watching. I was watching it. So I didn't get to Karen last week, but I'll get his silly butt this week.
Then we went in and did Mersat Overseer on last week as well.
That's an interesting fight.
It is.
Those are raids?
Yes.
Yeah, these are the raids. It's the second encounter in the Bastion of the Penitent, Wing 4. And we had some pretty good pulls.
Yeah.
We got them down to like 30-something% with, first day of fighting it. That was pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, that's what Wedge was saying. So
yeah,
it's gonna be good. I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah. And then I've had the biggest travesty and misfortune happen to me in the guild, and I can't stand for it.
What?
Cypher passed me in achievement points.
Oh,
can't have it.
I remember the night it happened.
We were streaming.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, so that on top of that, Levy from Kit the Travelers podcast, he has passed me too and has been poking me on Discord and rubbing it in my face. So I have about 110 achievement points lined up for this weekend. So, so no. So that's what I've been working on. I went through and I jumped on my Sylvari Mesmer and started the Living Story Season 3 all over again. So I did all of the Bloodstone Fen just for 1 2-point achievement, and I did all of Ember Bay. So all I have left is the last story step where Aurene hatches, and I didn't even realize it. Aurene hatched in the second chapter of Living Story season 3. So Maureen's only like a year old, which is kind of silly. You know, so I went and
how old is she in human years?
It's been 1 year. The clock hasn't flipped yet. Not until POF.
Never mind.
No, it's just touching back on your theory, which is a popular theory that Aureen's gonna save the world as a baby.
I don't know.
Anyway,
plug her into the holes, the dragon holes, right? Yeah.
You just stuff her in. It's like, you know, sticking your thumb in the
Aureen over here, and
you can't do that.
The other one.
No, you can't do that because then you can't sell any more minis. Can't sell any more. Can't sell any more Aureen minis.
The one where she's got that like helm on her head. It looks like it's too heavy for her head.
God. Oh my God.
I'm like, no, poor little Aureen.
I can't.
Let her grow.
Let her grow.
Yeah, let her grow.
So I've been chasing achievements, W-Dub. I'm still loving W-Dub. I know for the past 2 months I've been love-hate relationship, and I changed my love to hate every 2 weeks, and then back to love 2 weeks later. But I'm still loving W-Dub. So it's
good.
It was really good. This was kind of a boring week, I'll admit, because JQ was down. And I'm not putting anything against the servers we're fighting against. They fight very well, but I mean, we got used to fighting Blackgate, and we're still fighting like we're fighting Blackgate. And it's kind of, you know, when you're going in and you're seeing a 200 plus PPT, it gets kind of boring. So, and I'm sure it's boring for everybody else too. So I'm ready to move back up. But that's it. It's been a pretty good week. Or 2.
Cool.
Hopefully we defeat Mo tomorrow.
Yeah,
nice.
I finished gold level this week. I just finished it about 20 minutes before we started recording.
I was on an outnumbered map and I did wood in 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes. Because I was getting 14
those 9
ticks.
pips help a lot.
I was getting 14 pips on the outnumbered map. So that helped a lot, yeah.
Tons.
All right, so that's it. Cora, what are you eating over there in the airport?
What?
I hear you opening a package in the airport.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was moving my purse in the seat next to me.
Oh. All right. Well, we have a crap ton of news to go through. And hopefully we're gonna get an update. Oh, before we jump into it, I usually save all my shout outs to the end of the show, but this week I wanted to give my shout outs first because last Wednesday we did the Houston Strong event. I'm wearing my shirt that I got. And I just wanted to say big thanks to Romo for coming in last minute to do some streaming with us, and Cho, and everybody, everybody that came with us, Pockland and Miko and Gallios and Cora. It was a good time.
It was fun.
And then
it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
All the shout outs from Inks and Kit and everybody else. Aaron got involved. Malthanis from Talking Script put out some links. It was a good night. And there was a lot of support. And I just wanted to give my shout outs to everybody that jumped in. Alona and host of Ascalon, Hunter and Hashtag jumped in, and they actually plugged us in the beginning of their show, which they do a live stream at the same time. So I just want to say thanks to everybody. It was a great night, and Moxie and everybody else over on the SWTOR side had a great time too. So it was a good event. It was a good event. Thank you for making it a success, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a lot of fun. Real quick, since you just did your shout outs, I'm going to add my real quick caveat. Because I'm probably going to have to leave before the show is done recording. Thank you to everybody who's been sending me mail in game and items in game and gold in game. I've been I have a list. I've been writing your names down so that I could do the shout out and properly name drop and say thank you. But I'm in the car, not at the house where the list is. So you know who you are. You are amazing. I love getting the in-game mail saying, I listen to the show and it's a lot of fun and thank you for doing what you guys do, and just it keeps sending it. I love hearing it. It makes my day every time I see it. So
I am a little disappointed that nobody has sent Cora a rock yet.
You know, you're a
Pet
I'm
rock.
gonna send you a rock
You're-
tonight.
No, he just wants them to send me like literal in-game junk because he's a poop.
Oh,
He's
I
such
am
a
not.
poop. You joined the show, and now you're gonna find out, Miko, that he's actually a poop.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we are gonna take a break, and we'll be right back.
all right.
And welcome back. So yeah, like I said, we got more news than I've ever seen before. A lot of it from Guild Wars and you know, a lot of it from Reddit. So it was just crazy. So the first thing I wanted to acknowledge that the story review week at ANET was last week, and we're gonna acknowledge it in the news, but I want to go in depth in it in the next segment, just because there's so much that came through that it was pretty awesome, and I can't wait to hear Cora's reaction to it. Did you read any of this stuff?
No, I didn't. I wasn't able to.
You gotta listen.
And I'm probably not gonna be able to because I'm probably gonna have to bail on the show.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because airport friend.
Yeah, airport friends are important too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into a lot more detail on that coming up in the next segment. So what we're starting with for reals is a couple of things from Mr. Chris Cleary from the Reddits. The first was he made some more clarification as far as combat log privacy. So he basically, I'm pulling it up now. He did a post. Where is it? Did they change this?
He says he tweeted it out, basically. Clarification. He says logs generated from combat data are not private information, and sharing them is not considered a violation of any rules.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, yeah, that's a bit...
not showing on Reddit, but that was a good clarification. The other thing that came out, and this just came out today, was that ArcDPS has added a plugin to do build templates. And
Yep.
Chris Cleary immediately went on Reddit and gave the green light for this. I guess the developer for ArcDPS was working with Chris Cleary very closely
Yep.
to make sure that the required restrictions were in and everything else. So now you do have to have ArcDPS, but any part of it right now, as far as I can tell, is approved and green lighted from ArenaNet. The build template, I did hear on Twitter and our Discords, a couple people were saying that it was kind of messing with your items, and
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was about. Did you hear anything about that, Minka?
Yeah, there was a chance that your items could be deleted.
Oh.
So people were like, don't install it. Your Ascended stuff might disappear. And, you know, he's got it as like a disclaimer in the README file.
Yeah.
So apparently he's trying to work it out so that, you know, that actually doesn't, you know, delete your gear.
Yeah. And
That's
That's a problem.
Yeah, because that would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would suck
Yeah.
hardcore.
well, this is also not supported by ArenaNet. Now, immediately,
Right. Even. Go ahead.
immediately a bunch of people kind of jumped on that I saw and was like, oh yeah, now ArenaNet's not going to do it. No, it said in the description that this is a temporary measure, a temporary third-party solution for the current problem until a first-party implementation is done. So once ArenaNet does put it in, a build template system into the game, ArcDPS will be dropping it. So I think this was good collaboration. I think this is pretty positive.
It is
I think
positive.
so too.
It's way overdue.
The fact that that Chris Cleary was involved in the whole development process of it with Delta is super positive, and the fact that he stated clearly this is a stopgap until the first-party solution's in game.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't think the timing of that is a mistake. That's just me, and that's my conspiracy theory of the week.
I see that. I don't think that was a mistake.
It's not a coincidence that we're getting this greenlit now before POF. So
well,
I think
it's
we might
just
be closer.
It's refreshing too, because there's a lot of stuff that ArenaNet just doesn't talk about. And when you look back at the DPS meter, it was kind of like they were okay with it rolling the way it was, but nobody said anything. And now it's just like, now that it comes out, the release announcement comes out, and ArenaNet, Chris Cleary specifically, is right there to say, hey, yeah, we're greenlighting this. You're not going to get banned for using this. You might get your stuff deleted, and that's not our problem, but you can use it.
Yeah, Romo in chat says that it's not a high priority now for ANET to develop one. I disagree with that, because I think that if the fact that they were involved in the development of this one shows that they are very much aware. But I think they've just been focused on getting Path of Fire out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They never said that it was off the table completely.
Oh God,
So
that's a sturdy table.
Begging for it.
It's just how to let them get the expansion out, and then they can.
Well, the fact that he said this is just a third-party stopgap until a first-party thing happens.
Yep.
That's very clearly them saying, look, we're aware, we've got it on a chart somewhere if something needs to happen. We just haven't got it out there yet. Because if it was it's never happening, it would be go ahead, use this third-party thing. You just might lose some gear. They wouldn't say until a first party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My conspiracy theory, my theory on this whole thing is people in the community are a little upset with the amount of stuff that's on the table. Because let's be honest, that is a sturdy table. Because there's a lot of stuff on the table right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
My personal view of Guild Wars 1 is that the first 3 years of the game, and everybody's not going to agree with me on this, but in my opinion, the first 3 years of Guild Wars 2 was early access beta. They were trying so many things. They were putting so many new systems in. They were abandoning systems. They were leaving systems here. In the 4th year, they started cleaning stuff up. We're in the 5th year, going into the 2nd expansion now, and you're starting to see a clear direction from the game. And you can say that it's a little bit too little too late, and people can be bitter about it. There's been a lot of broken promises. The thing that is kind of optimistic for me is seeing that they're addressing these things. When your first interaction with Chris Cleary is, oh yeah, well, we didn't say anything, so we just assumed that you guys knew that you're okay to use the DPS meter.
Right.
To now coming out, working with a third-party developer on a third-party program to solve an issue that's in the community now. Yes, it's not ArenaNet that's doing it, but they're going to do it. So I'm kind of satisfied with that. That's my look on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as far as the first several years being, a beta, that was not their intent to create that feel. I remember going to a GDC talk, Game Developers Conference talk, about their 2-week schedule of pushing out the living story, and how they wanted this to be a thing. They wanted it to be a functional thing. And no company had ever tried that before. I mean, just the fact alone that we get seasons of living story content for free, name another company that does that.
That's kind of a gray area though, because I don't agree with ArenaNet's billing model. I think the billing model that they came with Path of Fire is better, because they're still giving the core game away for free, but they're also still charging for Heart of Thorns. And that, in my book, that makes it a little bit better. The thing of it is you never get away with playing a free-to-play game for free, ever.
No.
And that's my opinion, but that's not just an ArenaNet opinion. That is gaming in general.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of the industry, I mean, the game industry itself is new. It's a baby still, and it's still trying to find its footing on what works and what doesn't. So when you have so many games out there doing free-to-play, ArenaNet
I don't agree
looked
with
at
that.
themselves and go, okay, well, we've got to try free-to-play somehow, but we've still got to build somehow.
It was really from the 1980s. There were video games back then. I played them from the 1980s through probably 2005. There really wasn't an issue. The biggest, I don't want to say criminal or whatever, but the biggest perpetrator of this kind of getting extra money out of games was EA with all their sports games. Every year they released a new sports game, and all they did was update the roster. And games at that time were $25 to $30. It wasn't that big of a deal. What you have now is it is irresponsible for a gaming company not to move to a free-to-play model, because if they just did a standard billing model and did a paid box expansion once every year and a half to 2 years, they're leaving so much money on the table. And that's what everybody's looking at. So, I mean, I could see it on one hand, but I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, it's also, you got to factor in the cost of, how much it costs to make games now. Like, the price is skyrocketing compared to what it was.
No.
But they're not charging more. Like, if you, and not just Guild Wars, but like any game, like the most recent Uncharted game, they're all like, here's the $60 standard version, and here's an $80 deluxe version. When if it was balanced to how much more expensive they are to make, it'd be like, here's the base game, $120.
No, I don't agree with that, because ArenaNet is kind of being pulled in the wake of that opinion. They do not have a huge budget to make the game. They're making the game on an outdated engine, and they're not putting the work into the game that an Uncharted game is. Yes, the game is beautiful. It's a very good-looking MMO, but it's not as highly optimized and streamed as a lot of other games are. So, I mean, I'm not going to get into that argument, though. I'm sorry.
No worries. We can move on to the next topic.
We can debate another day. All right. The next topic, and I'm so glad you're here for this, Cora.
Yeah. This is a bit surprising.
Angel Lee McCoy was at the TrackCon in Tampere in Finland, and we found out from Angel McCoy at this talk that she's no longer with ArenaNet.
Oh.
And she touched upon a couple of bullet points, and these are just summaries. We don't have the context of everything, but the first bullet point that was presented was that Angel felt that we were not allowed to visit Zojia during the time that she's been out because of germs and infections, she said with a smile. She also said that ArenaNet had a name in mind for Steve McBubbles.
Steve McBubbles.
And no one liked it, so they scrapped it. And she refused to reveal what it was. Good for her. She wanted to write more lore for the Norn, but there wasn't enough time or place for those stories. She wanted to write about Jenna looking for a successor for the throne with the locket, but that was cut as well. This is going to hurt, honey. The Malik story arc is difficult to continue because there are contradictions in the lore that would take some effort to set straight. So I really don't think that they're going to do anything with Malik.
Sadly.
Angel admitted that internally they consider that season 1 was a mistake, and she was very frank about it. They weren't thinking ahead at all. And that's a very honest opinion, and I can see that.
Yeah.
And, I think people should accept that, and move on from it, just like Malik.
Yeah. All I'm saying is if they hired me and said, hey, make Malik happen, I could totally do it. I'd do it.
You probably could. You probably could, because you are talented. All right, another one. ArenaNet has a long-range plan for the overarching story, and they come up with details as they go, which I believe I've described several times. Was my opinion, and I was told by somebody in this podcast that I was wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong on a lot of things, but so am I.
Who would that be?
And then my favorite part, and as soon as I read this, I thought of you. Timey was named after a 95-year-old woman whose purse Angel found in the bushes after her wallet and credit cards had been stolen. However, the elderly woman was so glad to get her purse back since her cookie hadn't been taken from the purse. Angel kept in touch with her and admired how she wasn't fazed by the robbery at all. The woman died while Angel was creating Timey, and therefore Angel named Timey after her. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah,
cool. That is.
That's a nice story. So it was good to. It's not good to hear that Angel McCoy left. But it was good to get some information, even if it's third party.
And it turns out that I'm just kind of I was looking at some of the comments underneath it. Timey means sapling in Finnish, by the way, Cora.
I'm like, what's my name?
I couldn't get it out. I was like, Kara. You had to see the contortions in my face since you're not live with us. It was kind of hard for you to see.
So what were you trying to say? I can edit that stroke out.
I said that I was looking at some of the comments down below, and it says timey means sapling in Finnish.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty interesting.
Oh, that
Seeing
is
as she's so tiny.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps that up. I'm sad to hear that Angel left, but good luck to her in the future.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, they've got a lot of new talented writers there, so I'm confident in the state of the story.
Yeah, absolutely. People need to move on. That's all.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. All right, so next we got a data mine video from that shaman showing off the new guild hall, and then not immediately, a couple days later, ArenaNet released a full rendered video of the new guild hall, so that is available on their YouTube channel. You'll be able to find it there.
Yeah, it's also on the Path of Fire website.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. All right.
And it looks like it's going to be very pretty too.
I don't like it.
Yeah, Shaman's video has the guild hall when you first enter it. It looks like so everything is like all kind of crumbled, and then the ArenaNet video shows the guild hall all built up in its beautiful glory.
Yeah.
Level 80 glory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a cool comparison.
Mog is not. But Gallios has another guild that's kind of a subsidiary of Mog that is going to get that guild hall, I believe.
Yeah, it was originally just for the World v World hardcore players like me. Hardcore is a bad word.
It is not.
People who
you can say hardcore.
It was supposed to be for the guys that were going to get together and we were going to do some World v World, and things just didn't work out. So
the hardcore guys that were going to get together and leave the filthy casuals in the guild hall. Go ahead and say it.
And we were gonna play some World v World there, but since that didn't happen and a lot of people left, but I kept the guild, and so we're just going to use that one we're going to get that guild hall as well. Since we've already maxed out the Mog one, we're going to get that one next. So it'll be fun. So I'll be sending invites to everybody that wants to join in on that. Yep. It'll be fun.
Awesome.
All right, Miko, you go ahead and read the next bullet point, because that's all you, girly.
GW2radar.com. You guys wanted data? If you guys raid, you know that these DPS meters are out there, and then QT's got their benchmarks, and so you get this kind of division between what is the DPS expected when you're on a stationary golem that doesn't fight back. And then you've got what actually happens when things are going crazy in an actual raid. So GW2 Radar is a website. They're working off of the API. What you can do is upload your ARC DPS logs, your combat logs to the website. And what it does is then gives you data to show you where your DPS is, where your buff uptimes, how it compares to other raiders in the community. So you're getting that kind of real-time snippet. And what you find out is that the DPS in real scenario, it ain't that high. You know what? People are getting the kills. So anytime you start hearing, you'll get the elite group of raiders who will hit that 90th percentile, but there's a lot of them. A lot of raiders are in the median range or in the 75th percentile. And you know what? Everyone's doing a great time. Yeah. And it's just real data. You're getting the real in the field is what they called it, data. So I thought it was really cool. So if you're interested and you've got your combat logs and you want to see, you need to just create an account on GW2 Radar and then upload your logs and it'll spit out your reports.
Nice.
But their thread was pretty cool because it showed the data of like what the group comps are, what classes people are actually taking into raids, and Power DH was one class that I had not been aware was getting brought into raids as much, but yeah, they were totally like up there. And Berserker makes up like 50% of like the DPS for everyone, so that was pretty cool to see.
That's right.
Yeah. And the 2 support classes, no surprise, Chrono and Druid.
Yeah.
Are the 2 big ones. So it's just cool to see.
Yeah, so Dolvik's saying in chat, the problem with tools like that is because eventually it leads to tools in game anyway. So he's concerned about that. I don't think Guild Wars 2 is going to go that path because for as many things as they've changed and backed out of from the original vision of the game, it seems like they're not getting involved in a lot of those third-party plugins and stuff like that. They don't want to change the don't play the UI, play the game mentality, which is good. I mean, whatever.
You still have to like bring it, export it out. I know that Blizzard has a tool for their WoW raiders where they can go in, and it's just a website, so you can go in and see where you stack up compared to the other raiders on the scene, and you get some information. But if you're like me, who's not a hard elite raider, but I still like to raid, and you want to improve, having that information is helpful.
Yeah, it is. Just a clarification, Dolvik meant tool players, not tools in general. So Letus, I got it. So there's the clarification, Dolvik.
I get you.
All right, so we got even more. All right, this is another one that I don't know. There was an article in Massively from highlighting the raid team, who had said that there will not be any story mode changes for raids incoming. And the quote was, "We won't be adding a different difficulty tier at this time. Raids need to continue to remain the most challenging content in the game, and they are designed to be accessible. They aren't designed to be accessible by everyone from a skill perspective. Could they be more accessible from finding 9 other players to play with side? Sure. This isn't always as easy a problem to solve, and any solution would detract away from the team making more raid content. We'd love to get more content out to you guys faster, really." So this
is basically story mode ain't coming.
Story mode ain't coming. And I'm
How about dungeon mode? How about a dungeon mode?
Dungeons are a bad word in Guild Wars 2.
Yeah. Dungeons got abandoned, I know.
I could actually do dungeons. So
you could actually do a raid.
You could.
You could. The thing of it is like us, our group, we only meet on Saturday nights, and it took us almost 4 months to beat the escort on Bastion, and it took us another couple, probably 3 months, maybe 2 months, realistically, because we were bouncing around, to take down Karen. If you put the time in, you have to dedicate some time to beat up on the golem. You have to practice your rotations. You have to become aware of your build. But if you do that, you can do it. Yeah. So everybody can do it. It's just the only thing that I don't like about this is I'm upset that they locked Saul D'Alessio's story behind a raid. I don't think that's proper. And in combination of an earlier interview with Bobby Stein and now this interview with the raid team, they're going to continue to put that old story in raid because they feel it's the best place for them to deliver that old story. And it gives them, and the raid team is going to keep it high level, which is fine. I can understand that. I can respect that decision. But with the story being locked behind a raid mode, it's very obvious that a lot of people don't raid in Guild Wars 1. So I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I know.
They don't raid in Guild Wars 1 or Guild Wars 2?
Guild Wars 2, sorry.
Guild Wars 2, yeah. I mean, I was always of the opinion that story mode should have been an option. Other games do it. her wording was a little interesting. I'm trying to find this now. She said at this time is how she qualified it, right? We won't be adding a different difficulty tier at this time.
Yeah.
So it doesn't completely take it off the table, but it kind of squashes it for now.
Yeah.
It gives them that out that if they ever did want to revisit it and put in a story mode that they could.
Yeah.
But my only question is, what's going to be the end game when somebody crafts all 3 sets of legendary armors? What is going to be the point at that point to continue doing raids?
Yeah. Right. If you're not getting, well, they're going to have to continue making them, right?
Yeah, they are. And Romo just said in chat that he's still saying Cosmic Fractal story was the best story writing that ANET has ever done. And I agree with that. That was a very good story
very well done.
in 3 fractals, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I had so much fun.
Yeah. And they've been using fractals more as a proving ground, I think, or a kind of a practice area for people who to kind of continue developing their skill set so that they can kind of make that transition into raids, I think. They did it with the Nightmare fractal. They did it with this Shattered Observatory. I think it's pretty interesting. Yeah. And it's a cool development. And it's sad that they kind of left dungeons to the side.
I wish that they would just maintain dungeons.
Yeah.
And they don't. They just
fix the
completely
things that are
abandon
broken
them.
in them.
If it's super broken, they'll fix it. But, I mean, I just wish that if they decided, okay, we're not going to continue with this, let's, add another wing here and there. I mean, it can't be that hard to do, in my opinion.
I feel like that sentence is a gross oversimplification. I'm sure that they looked at it and went like, yeah, it actually there is a lot of work that goes into adding new wings and whatnot.
I can say that somewhere, and this is my conspiracy theory, take it how you want. Somewhere along the line, the player base and the fans of ArenaNet have implied more difficulty than what is really real difficulty. I don't see with a staff of 400 people that they can't get this stuff done. There's some stuff that they can get done, and I'm sure I don't have the full grasp on how it is and how hard it is to do. I'm sure I don't have a full grasp on that, but it's not impossible.
No, I didn't say it was. It is a matter of priorities, and for them, dungeons are not a priority. Because it's one of those things that, like you were saying before the show even started, is you don't find the time to do things. You make the time if it's important.
Yes.
You make the time. And for them, dungeons are not important. Wow. So no, they have no interest in making the time to make new wings happen or to keep dungeons up to date and,
well, the
polished.
Thing is, with the dungeons, we went in a couple of weeks ago because I was farming currency for skins. And they did change some of the difficulty level of some of the end bosses in the dungeons. We were like, oh, they're all of a sudden legendaries. They're no longer champions. So it's interesting that they kind of gave them that little bump, but it's still like, all right, so you gave them a bit more health pool, maybe a bit more toughness, and maybe their skills had a tiny bit harder, but it's still something that can be, it's not to the level of, say, a fractal.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say again that if you could monetize the dungeon, then there would be an interest in doing it, and they can't.
Of course.
And this is what the issue is, and I said this way, way back in episode 8. This is what the issue is when you have the CEO of the company acting as a game director. And it's not horrible in every sense. I don't want to say that it's horrible in every sense, but there are certain things like key rings and the material storage that had to be done on downtime. That stuff could have been done, but the game director who makes the decisions of the direction of where people are going and what's being developed said he couldn't justify the dev time to make a key ring, but they're inundating us with keys. But we can get a shared inventory slot, so it's all fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I think that'll be changing. They've been bringing on new high-level members to not push Mo out of those aspects, but like allow him to go back to doing what he's supposed to do, so that actual people, who understand other things can come in and say, yeah, we really should not do that, or we really should be doing this after all.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Abernathy coming in for the writing team and being the lead there, saying like, okay, yeah, we're doing this with story and we're going to make awesome things happen.
Exactly. And I'm fully confident that that's what's going to happen. But I hope people realize that when I have salt or bitterness about the change in the direction of the story, and we're going to cover that next, it's because I was sold on this story for the dragons, for the Elder Dragons, not for Balthazar running through the Crystal Desert, not for Palo Joko. You know,
I'm there with you. I wanted to fight all the dragons, and 2 dragons in, and the fights weren't that great, and then suddenly we're changing the course, is what it feels like. And maybe that was always the intent, maybe it wasn't. It just
we don't know.
It's been a little weird.
Yeah, we don't know that, and you can't pretend. I can't pretend that I do know that, just like I can't pretend and sit here and say, oh, it's easy to make a dungeon. I don't know that. I'll agree with that, but I mean, it doesn't change my stance that I feel that things would be different if the person who answers to the board of directors and the publishing company wasn't the game director. It's just my opinion. All right, so let's move on to something positive.
Yeah, you're bringing me down, bro. You're bringing me down.
So the official forums got an overhaul, and I like it. It's about time. There's a little bit of functionality there. There's some things in there that I don't agree with, like you can't have a signature until you become a veteran rank on the forums. Between Discord, where I have fun, and Reddit, where I get most of my news, and Twitter, where I have news and fun, I don't have time for forums all the time. And but I mean, it's there. It's pretty cool. And Romo's on a roll in chat. Anyway, take a look at them. If you haven't seen them, take a look at it. You can pick a new avatar now. You can, when you get veteran rank, for kissing a lot of A-net butt, you can get your signature on there and stuff like that. So, good times. Good times.
I'm never on the forums. You would think that I would be with the fact that I'm a writer and how much I love the lore, but I'm never on the forums. I barely figured out Discord recently. There's no way I'm for doing the forums. At least not yet.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too how the community has sort of migrated as well. From like back in Guild Wars 1 days when forums were used most exclusively, I think.
Yeah.
And now people are just usually using Reddit more and Twitter, social media channels, Discord especially.
When I can get banned in game for a comment that I make on the forum, I stay away from the forum.
Yeah.
Because if I feel strongly about something, everybody's listening to the show knows that I say what I feel strongly about. And if that irritates the wrong mod, I can get a 3-day ban. So I don't post on the forums.
Yeah,
I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
And I think partially I stay away from the forums for the same reason that I stayed quiet in the community for so long until I made my Twitter account. Even though I've played the game, almost from the start of the first Guild Wars 1, but I stayed very quiet even though I've loved the story and the lore for that long. Honestly, out of fear of, look, I just don't want people to harass me. So if I go on the forums and I post something that's, somebody doesn't like and they feel like being a troll, like, I just don't want to deal with that. So I just don't go on them.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I mean, people can be trolls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, and you also lose a lot of context. As a writer, I can say this: you can lose a lot of context very easily, with just the written word. Versus if I say something here on the show, like you guys can hear the tone and the way I'm saying it. Like if I say, "Gord, you're such a poop," like you can tell that I say it with love. But if I say that on the forums, like, oh, is she being mean? Is she being a troll? Like we don't know.
Right.
No,
so
that's true.
Things can be misinterpreted very, very easily, and it's unfortunate that I do that. I as a female, like I have to be aware of that fact of there are people out there who are trolls and will target me just because I'm a female player. And
that's
it's
true.
not saying that there's a lot, but that is also something that I have to be aware of. And I just don't feel that it's worth it for me to be on the forums and have that risk.
But that's true. I mean, you can see it. I've seen videos of, I think it was on YouTube. I was watching a video of a girl who was pretending to be a guy, and then somehow the guy found out that she was really a girl, and just the chat that was coming in after that was completely different. And it's like, really, dude? Turn up the computer, get out of mom's basement, and go meet people in real life, because you're just
it's sad that I can share with you one of my earliest Guild Wars memories, and we're going back to Guild Wars 1. I'm in post-Searing Ascalon. Like, I've only been playing a few months. And some guy comes up to me, and I roll female characters because I can, because there's not enough games where I can play as a female. So I roll female characters. I become my character. And some guy out of the blue comes up and starts bothering me in-game, talking about how he likes my boobs. They're
so
3D
stupid.
graphics. Are you serious? Like,
and
are
Guild
we
Wars 1
seriously
wasn't
doing
even that
this?
great graphically. I mean, it was for the time,
they're
but
not. But like, for him, like that was okay to do, and like that is one of my earliest memories of Guild Wars.
That's
like,
crazy.
yeah, that sticks with me. I had another memory where I did dungeons with somebody, like random people, and the guy thought I was a guy because I actually, like, I didn't go down. I didn't die. I stayed up. I stayed up and was, actually holding my own for, really well. And so clearly, because I was playing well, I was a dude. And I made the judgment of, I'm just going to let him think that I am, because I don't want to deal with potential
there you go.
poop.
Yeah,
And
the day that.
But like,
Go ahead, Cor.
go ahead, Gallus.
Sorry.
No,
I was
you
going to
go.
say, maybe there'll come a day that people stop looking at male, female players and look at players.
Yeah.
Kind of like we want the world to be. Eventually, I'm hoping that it'll get to that point where you stop looking at the gender. You're addressing a player. You're not addressing a male or a female. You're addressing a player. Address me as a player. Address me as a human. Don't address me as just X. I mean, address me as a human. Address me as a player.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so. And the thing is, since starting the podcast, since starting my Twitter, joining your guys' guild, I've had great experiences with people. I haven't had yet, and I hopefully never will, anybody message me to harass me because I don't know what I'm talking about with the lore, or like, you keep making these jokes about how you run a glass slipper build. Well, why don't you grow some skill or something? Like, nobody's bothered me yet. I hope that they never do.
No, I think that's.
But
I think that's a reflection of the community, though.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of. I mean, every community has the butthole that does that stuff, but I think. I don't think
sure there's somebody out there, but
I don't think it's common in Guild Wars.
I don't think so.
We got to move on.
All right. I was gonna say, this is probably a good time for me to take off because my friend's flight has landed.
Okay.
But it's a good note to end on for me to say that the SoTD community, the MOG community, has been great.
Yay.
So
Awesome.
it makes me want to play more with y'all.
Oh,
awesome.
You can play with me anytime you want.
All right, you all have fun. Miko, don't let Gord be a poop.
All right,
That's
I'll
my
try.
job. That's
I'll
my
do my
job.
best.
All right, good luck, girly.
All right, I'll see you guys in game.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right, so last bit of news I'm going to give to you, Miko. That's another one. Built
Last bit of news.
Superior runes for POI.
Superior runes. So there's superior runes for the Path of Fire specializations, elite specs are out there, are available on the wiki, and some of them look really nice. So if you guys haven't seen them, just start basically going onto the wiki and start searching Superior Rune of the Weaver and the Mirage, etc. Some of them are a bit kind of, I don't know, I felt they were a bit boring. Like the I think it was the Deadeye one. No, it was
Deadeye.
the Spellbreaker one and maybe it was Deadeye, or Hollowsmith. Yeah, but the Rune of the Soul Beast looks interesting. Rune of the Scourge looks interesting. Scourge, I'll tell you what it is. Oops. Come on, Google. It's got healing power and condition damage, which I thought was an interesting combination. And I thought, well, maybe that'll start being used on your Condi druids.
It's going to be interesting, yeah.
That's an interesting combination. So yeah, they're in there. If you guys haven't checked them out, definitely go give the wiki a look-see. And I know also that we didn't have it in the show notes, but the GW2 skills build editor has been updated as well with the elite specs and all of the traits and everything. So people are already starting to like throw together builds to like prepare. I love it.
No, that's good. That's good. I think I'm going to take a more organic approach. I feel like I get a better grasp on it, playing it in game and learning the limitations and stuff of it.
That's how I feel.
So, but more power to you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So that is it for the news. My God.
That was a lot of news.
We are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And welcome back. Yay. All right. So this is kind of the third week in a row where we have an open format. So one of the things that I wanted to do was we made goals back in episode 47. The Gallus kind of touched on. But before we did that, I wanted to ask you, Miko, did you have any goals that you were working on before Path of Fire?
Before they announced that it was coming so quickly?
Yeah.
I was just I wanted to finish leveling my masteries, getting the max mastery. So I did that. And I was just kind of drifting along in game, really. I wasn't expecting Path of Fire to come so quickly. And now that it's here, I'm like, I need more hero points. I need to, start amassing hero points because these elite specs are coming in 5-7 days, whatever, a week away.
But there was something else. I think I dropped it from the news, but there's a new WW currency coming into the game with Path of Fire, and there is going to be a separation from the proof of heroics. The excuse me. Excuse me. All right. The current iteration is only going to work for Heart of Thorns, so there's a new one coming in that is only going to work for Path of Fire, and I have a feeling that the hero points are going to be the same way.
I certainly hope not.
They will.
Because the hero points in Corteria still counted towards being able to unlock in Heart of Thorns.
But Corteria is the only thing that's bundled with both separate expansions. So I think that it will work. Corteria might work.
If they did that,
Path of Fire, but it's
and you're not the first person who have heard this theory from, and I think that if they do that, the amount of people that are like stockpiling hero points right now so that they can unlock the new elite specs on day one, prepare for the backlash if they're changing their system.
I'm sure
gonna be ugly.
I'm sure
it's gonna be ugly.
And you know what? I'm kind of glad that they're doing that. I am, because there's something to be said for the one thing that ArenaNet has always said with their game is take your time going through the game. And there's something to be said for that. I think that there's going to be a delineation from Heart of Thorns masteries, or hero points, and Path of Fire. I think they're going to be separate, and they will not be able to be intermingled. So that's just my speculation, though.
Yeah. I'm hoping that it's not, that they don't separate it too much, because if they were to separate their hero point system, oh man, I can see it for masteries, leaving the different masteries, because that's obviously going to be separate tiers and separate masteries.
All the masteries have always been separate. Sakura is separate from Heart of Thorns and so on and so forth. But those, I kind of forgot. I know I had the points when Heart of Thorns launched. The points were 400, and I think I had enough points to unlock everything except the last skill when Heart of Thorns launched, and then I had to go through, and then they reduced it. So I think only for my Berserker did I have to grind it out, and everything else I was just able to train up. So I don't know. I think it's going to be the same. I think that Path of Fire is, you're not going to be able to use mastery points from or hero points from Heart of Thorns in Path of Fire, but that's just my opinion.
Now, do you remember? Do either of you guys? I don't know if you guys ran the preview weekends.
I did.
I did the first one and not very much of the second one at all.
Okay, yeah, because I went in. I only played, I don't know, just a couple hours in the Crystal Oasis on the first preview weekend, and I remember the mastery points being separate. I don't remember running into any hero points on that map. Did either of you?
Yeah, there was several. There was a couple of communes. There was one commune I remember on top of the pyramids that you had to jump around with the raptor, and then the soup was a hero point with the chef. You had to chase the chef around and grab.
I thought that was a mastery point.
No, that was a hero point. That was 10-point hero point. Because I realized that was when they turned the hero points to infinite, just like the hearts. So the hero points will reset every day. You only get 10 hero points out of it, but you can redo it every day for a new
rewards.
For a reward. So
I noticed that on the map last night.
There were several there.
Okay.
So I mean, we'll see.
Was the icon a different color?
No. The only difference was the infinity symbol.
It was the infinity symbol.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
interesting.
We'll see. We shall see.
We shall see in a week's time.
We will see. We will see.
We will.
We will see.
All right. So
we will see.
So let's get back to it. So Mika, what kind of what were your goals going into Pathfire?
I'm unlocking the rest of the elite specs that I haven't unlocked. I still have 3 that I haven't unlocked. I haven't unlocked Daredevil, Berserker, or Scrapper. I never play those classes. So
Are you kidding me?
You do. Yeah, and it's super easy because I know the path in Verdant Brink to take to unlock all of them. I know. I love that emote. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But yeah, so it's like I could just jump in on a hero train if I wanted to, and I just haven't done it.
Daredevil is my fractal. That's what I run in fractals.
Okay.
And my scrapper, I ran a Juggernaut scrapper that was the most fun I had in the jungle. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, well, that's okay. Teach your own. Teach your own.
So I would like to, maybe this week I'll start preparing. I know I've already got a little Astera prepared for Hollowsmith.
Did you?
But yeah, I'm getting her ready. But yeah, I kind of feel bad that I've just sort of abandoned Thief, Warrior, and the other one, NG.
Yeah, NG I could see. NG's not fun to play. It's in certain situations it's not fun to play. You really have to be. It's very niche, so I could see that. But well, so that's good. So you think you're gonna be able to unlock all your?
Yeah, I mean, probably. If I were to sit down and just do it, and I'm gonna have to run and do the Dragon Stand meta, and get some crystalline ore.
Yeah. I have to do the same thing if I'm ever gonna finish my Flames of War.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Gallios, your list. Your list was to try PvP.
I know the biggest one was Nevermore.
Nevermore, and we'll get to that. The second one was to jump into PvP.
Oh, yeah, I did. I jumped into PvP. I won 3 of 5 matches right off the bat. I realized that playing a Revenant in there is actually pretty fun. It wasn't that bad. I like the new areas they have. It's kind of different. It looks like the floating islands and everything all broke apart. It was kind of fun. So I played a little bit of it. I did do PvP. I did break first level, and then I haven't been back. But I did play. I said I was going to play, and I played.
No, that's good.
What was the other one?
That's good.
What was the other one?
No, it was never more. It was to try PvP and to make that ranger build.
Oh yeah, I haven't finished the ranger build yet. I really had to rethink that because there's been 2 people that wanted a ranger build, and a long time ago the druid class played better. When I was playing druid, it played different than it does now. The blast zones are different now, where it used to be might, or it used to be retaliation, etc. It's all changed. Like each of the God, what do you call them now? The druid,
the blossoms or celestials.
No, the actual
The stat-
utility skills.
Oh, the glyphs.
The glyphs, yeah. The glyphs did each their own thing. Now they all do Condi cleanse. Like, what the hell? So anyway, yeah. Back in my day, the druid build was a bunch different, much different. So anyway, so I kind of abandoned it, started doing something different. Everybody wants a druid build, but I'm really going to have to wait till POF because I think things are going to change.
They are.
I think the druid build will still be viable, but I played the Soul Beast in World v World, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Once you figure it
Soul
out,
Beast
it's
is nice.
really, really good.
Yeah.
So I may be waiting to do a build for that and then release that build instead.
That's a good point, though, because I wonder how the new stat combinations are going to interact with the Heart of Thorns elite specs.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how it's going to be, but I tried out the Soul Beast, and some of the healing in that is comparable. It's not druid strong, but it allows you to be more combat effective as far as damage output as well. So it's a good balanced type. At least what I put together was a good balanced type. And like I said, I told you I played for 30 minutes. I might have got 150 kills with the Soul Beast.
I just feel
was just
like
standing in a doorway.
I feel like the elite specs were overtuned.
Definitely.
Yeah, it'll be like you said before. We need to probably play for 2 or 3 weeks. Let a patch or 2 come out and see if they change anything before we start releasing anything. But
yeah, and that's kind of why I'm taking my time on, because I know I'm going to play Spellblade, but I don't know how much or in what sense I'm going to play a Spellblade. So you got to kind of get your hands on stuff and get it. But I really do think that during the beta weekend, everything was overtuned.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see once they release it.
They the stress tests as well.
Yeah, I think they were just OP, just to get people to get their hands on it and enjoy it. So
right, and if it's no good, I will stick to the old stuff. But I think I want to wait to release anything until after POF. So
yeah. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So mine was simple. Just to follow up. I think I said I was going to make another legendary, which is not going to happen. And I was going to get achievement points. So I didn't advance in the achievement points as much as I wanted to. I went from 27,600. I'm up to 27,919 now. And I have some stuff lined up, but I'm pretty proud of how I did it. I just kind of sat down and said, this is what I'm doing, and I'm not moving on until it's done. And I finished all the available achievements now in Bloodstone Fen. I have 5 left in Ember Bay, 4 of them being in the last story step. And no more keys the whole way. And that was that. I spent a lot of money. I spent 900 gold to finish off the Series 1 minis for the last 10 points, and that was 930 gold. So I'm down.
Wow.
I'm down to like 670 gold, which is really low.
I'm down to 41.
Yeah. You and me.
Yeah. I'm nervous if I'm under 1,000 gold. I'm very nervous. But anyway, I'm going to. I put in a bunch of buy orders, so I'm really hoping for the Series 3 minis, and I'm really hoping that I get in there tonight and I get all my minis. I'll still be 4 short because the remaining minis are somewhere around 500 gold. So I might just buy them right out. Yeah. And that's that. So I wanted to hit 30,000 before the expansion, which sounded like a really doable number because I have so many out there. But I forgot how much time you have to pour into it to actually get it. A lot of my points are tied up in Triple Trouble right now. I'm going to finish it this weekend because I only have to kill 1 more worm larva, and I have to do 2 of the escorts. I have to steal a keg of rum, and I have to dance in the polytoxin or whatever it is. And as soon as I have that, I get like 75 achievement points for that, and then I'm jumping into some of the season 2 because there's one chapter in this Living Story season 2 achievements that has 110 achievement points just in that chapter that I never touched. So I'm coming for you, Levy. You too, Cypher. I'm faster than a centaur.
Y'all have fun.
Yeah, but I'm not going to hit 30K before Path of Fire. No way. It's not going to happen. But I tried, and I sat down and forced myself to do it, and I love that Levy is poking me every day, while teasing me every day because Romo's in chat and whatever.
Yeah.
And I keep looking and wondering how Cypher's going up so fast. He's like 100 achievement points ahead of me already, and I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? But
he's doing
nice.
doing that on purpose, dude.
No, it's nice. I like it because it motivates me to sit down and just do the achievement point, because once you're done with the achievement point, you're done. You don't have to go back to it. So, I was just like, it takes too much time to get, and I want to move on and do something else. And, I'm just kind of sitting back and doing it. It's having fun. I pop on a playlist in iTunes with 2 albums, and once the albums are done, I'm done. So it's a nice way to do it.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
So were you doing Aurora at the same time?
No way.
While you were doing all of the Living World maps, or no?
I'm kind of working on Aurora. I finished the Rasat coin collection, which I have to say, Pockland, I was doing the jumping puzzle, and I didn't realize I was at the point. There's one point at the near end of the jumping puzzle where you have to go down this really deep hole to get 2 of the coins.
Yeah.
And I was stuck there, and I was so afraid to jump or move or anything else. Apocalypse was like, let me get my Mesmer up there. I'll get him up there for you. So I said I was coming back later that night, and I kind of didn't. I fell asleep hanging out with the wife, and I came back the next day. And I realized that all I had to do was jump around the cliff, like do one of those curve jumps. And then I was right there and jumped down the hole and got the coins. And I pinged him in Discord, but he didn't see it. And he worked on getting his Mesmer up to that point. He
was telling us
keep
that
that
he's
guy
got,
there, Pockland. I might be.
He's got a character parked at each of those Mersat tokens along the jumping puzzle there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be pinging him in a little while.
So he PM'd me and he's like, "Hey, I got those Mesmers where they need to be for your coins. You want them?" And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of already did it." And he was like, he didn't say anything for like 2 minutes, and I was like, "Shit." And then he PM'd me back and he was like,
"Pockland's not your friend anymore."
Well, considering all the time it took me to get this damn Mesmer there, are you at least going to use it? I was like, yeah, I'll do it on my second account, I promise. So it was funny, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, so anything else on our Chivos, what we're trying to do before Path of Fire?
Nope, I got all 3 of mine done.
All right, this is what I've been chomping at the bit for all freaking week. There was a couple of interviews that came out, one via MMORPG.com that had a lot of good points from the story. And the first one that I got to say, Winners did help me, Garros. She got me to the top. But anyway, the most interesting line that I read in one of these was that Bram has no part in Path of Fire. And they described it as the story has evolved now to what is surrounding the player character and where they're focused. And since Bram is focused elsewhere, Bram really doesn't have a place in Path of Fire. So we won't be seeing Bram in Path of Fire.
That's kind of sad because I want to punch him in the face still.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm hoping that means that we'll get him back in season 4, which we won't have to wait very long for season 4.
We won't, which is
to
good.
start, at least for the first episode. We'll probably get it before Christmas. But I can see why.
Yeah, Dolvik's saying he thinks Living World 4 is immediately going to visit him. I don't. I believe that. I believe the way that the expansion is going to end is we are going to come into the area too late to stop Balthazar from killing Kralkatork. Balthazar is going to escape to the south, and he will get away because at that same time we are going to see an explosion of magic from the north, and Bram and the Norn will have killed Jormag. I said this in a couple episodes now, so I'm kind of beating the dead horse, but I really do believe that's how they're going to reconcile the dragons. And it's kind of sad. The other thing that I wanted to point out, and this is something that I've kind of said a few times, and I'm looking for the quote. Bear with me. Throwback.
Was it in the MMORPG interview or the one on
I think it was
Gascoigne?
the other one. Yeah. Let me check. It's not the MMORPG one.
So it's the one with Matthew Medina.
Yes.
I'm always
was.
mispronouncing there. Gascoigne. I know it's not.
Here
I
it
know
is.
I butchered it. Yeah.
The best line in that interview, quoting Matthew Medina, thematically, we knew from the launch of Guild Wars 2 in 2012 that we would at some point be returning to the story of the human gods.
Yep.
And as a result, we knew at least at a high-level story beats of Path of Fire before Heart of Thorns shipped, as the Living World team was already beginning work on Living World Season 3. This has been a long time theory of mine that they are not working on these stories, weeks or months before they're released. That is pretty much the proof in the pudding that...
Right. They know the big overarching.
Well, they knew the overarching. And
Yeah.
I think that Ritlock Brimstone showing up in Guild Wars 1 was because of that storyline. I think we're going to see some interesting things in the next expansion around Ritlock. Whether he does ascend to to replace Balthazar as a god or not, I think we're going to find out that Ritlock was in the service of the Six while he was in the Mist and was time traveling back 250 years. Because with the whole Legionnaire stone, just Google Legionnaire summoning stone in the Guild Wars 1 wiki if you're not familiar with that story.
Take a look at it. Yeah,
it's
take a
Ritlock
look
Brimstone.
at that picture. It's
Because I know that I
said,
have
too,
the Legionnaire mini, and it's basically Ritlock.
Yeah.
In Guild Wars 1.
That being said, too, I try so hard not to sound nasty and mean, and I can't help it. Maybe it's because I'm from New York, but everybody that's saying, oh, they need more time, they don't have enough time. How much time do you need when you're working on the story before Heart of Thorns even released? They were working on Living World Season 3. And maybe they were just sketching out the storyboard at that time. We don't know how far along they were, but that was 2 years before release. A year and a half before release, if we're being fair. Before the story released. I think that they're producing the entire story up front, and I think that for the whole time that the Living Story Season 3 was being released, it was already done, and they were working on Living Story Season 4, which again goes back to my theory that they switched episode 5 and 6 and why it caused such a delay, because they had to stop gears while recording while doing the content for Living World Season 4. It makes sense. It's an efficient way to do things. But that kind of cemented it for me. I was very happy to read Matthew Medina's comments in this article.
I'm totally looking this up on the wiki now because I don't remember that summoning crystal. But
that was available in Wayfarer's Reverie.
Okay. Given by Flynn.
Yes.
Sworn to Winds. Cannot be traded. Yeah. Included in 2013. Yeah.
So when you
I'm digging that we're finally gonna hopefully stop getting the later cub responses
Oh,
from.
we definitely are. We definitely are, and I know a lot of people got upset when in the beginning trailer piece he was like, "Oh, it's top secret. It's coming out.
Yeah.
It's if you go to that interview, it's there in the trailer. We saw it. We also saw that Kralkator's going to be killed. You know, there was a dragon that had a spear ran through its face in the trailer. We have the official trailer coming out on Tuesday, which is really cool. Well, what's that, Dolvik? They said what in the interview? That Kralkator's dead? What? Speak on, Dolvik. What? I keep forgetting he's 7 seconds behind me. There was another quote, and I think it was in the MMORPG one where they addressed the dragons. What? I just confused the shit out of Dolvik. That's okay. We'll see throwbacks. Give me a second while I pull this up. See, now you guys see how much editing I really do.
Scott McGuff said that they'd always planned to return to the Crystal Desert as far back as the launch of Guild Wars. So basically saying what Matthew said in the other interview. We decided to take the story there after Heart of Thorns, and after Heart of Thorns launch, we worked in concert with the Living World Season 3 team to make sure we bridged the course of the dev cycle. Or we bridged the gap between Heart of Thorns Season 3 and Path of Fire.
One of the devs addressed the dragons.
Yeah.
And pretty much the way that I can't find it now. Blah blah blah. But it kind of confirmed that they are moving away from the dragon story arc.
Well, it doesn't say it in the. There's that one piece that goes through a quick rundown of the plan of the timeline.
Yeah, it wasn't in that.
At the very end, it says that the three forces are going to meet: the dragon, Balthazar, and us, or Paolo Joko, whatever. Mm-hmm. It says they're going to all meet at the end, but it doesn't give anything else after that.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that on the official blog post that they went and posted the timeline, the history of how Alona came to be, basically where it is right now.
It says Kralkatork is at the peak of its power. Balthazar is obsessed with claiming that power for himself, and they're headed for a showdown in Joko's desert kingdom. The potential clash between these three formidable forces threatens not only the Alonian desert but the entire world.
Yep.
Yeah, hold on. Let me do a.
And then the little clincher there. Even with your help, can the desert region and its people survive, or will over 1,000 years of culture and history disappear like grains of sand in the wind? Only time and Path of Fire will tell. Thought that's. That right there is a nice little bit of, well, one, it's good marketing speak, but it's a nice little, just teaser of, well, what happens? What happens if the pack commander fails to stop Balthazar? We could have a lot more interesting story.
And we'll get blamed for it all.
Well, we wanted the glory, right? Cormyr came in and said, I deserve this, as the meme goes, right?
Sorry for the wait, I found it. So MMORPG asks, does the shift away from hunting down elder dragons allow the team more freedom in what stories they get to tell? Scott McDonough answered, it does. It allowed us to vary up the antagonist and avoid falling into the pattern of each expansion returning to a decisive clash with an elder dragon. It also allowed us to present an antagonist that is more personal and relatable than the elder dragons, who are so gargantuan, awe-inspiring, and utterly inhumane that they come across as too alien and too remote to react to the player's actions.
Yeah.
So, and then Matthew Medina followed up with, on one hand, this does allow us, for example, to turn our attention towards antagonists who are more expressive and relatable rather than the elder dragons, which is more like a force of nature. But on the other hand, the elder dragons are always part of the backdrop of the main stories we tell in Guild Wars 2, such that even when we are dealing with other stories, they remain the most dire threat to the long-term future of Tyria. I personally think that they are better contextual threats than they do as our main antagonist. However, I'm excited about how we are continually evolving the story around the looming threat of the Elder Dragons posed to the people of Tyria. So it kind of goes one of two ways. They are moving away from the dragons in the main story. I read it as they're keeping them in the backdrop. They see more value of them being contextual. I don't think that we're ever going to fight another Elder Dragon, and I think, to me, maybe I'm slanting it to my opinion, but I think that is kind of the cement right there that says, hey, we're done with the dragons.
Yeah.
Is that how you guys took it?
I thought his point that he was that they were trying to make the human gods, or that they felt that the human gods were more relatable to the characters. I know it's something that we brought up on my other podcast some months ago, that, you know, well, if we keep killing dragons, like, what? Yeah, okay. They're just so huge. Exactly what Scott McGuff and Matthew Medina were saying was they're just so huge that, you know, we don't really care about them. They're just like these things out in the world that they're just there to basically suck up magic and then fall asleep and then let it back out again and repeat that cycle. They're not this tangible kind of force, which you kind of got the sense of in the World Summit story step in Living World Season 2.
Yeah.
Where you're having to convince the world leaders, yeah, we actually need to like make a move against this dragon because danger. And they're like, well, we've got other things to worry about, and we've got, you know, ghosts to fight, and Jormag and ice creatures, and why should we help you?
Yeah. I mean, Dovik kind of said it too. He felt that Dovik said in chat that he thinks that was related to the feedback to Hot. Old lore said dragons were forces of nature, and Zaitan did feel like one until the end of the battle. And then Morty was way more interested in you like a classical villain. And I think they tried to deliver the dragons. The dragons are huge. Like Mordramoth is the entirety of the Maguma jungle.
Right.
And I wanted to see that in game. And
yeah,
I feel like we're not going to see it in game. And I don't see how they're going to stop the dragons without killing them. And I think that they've set themselves up for the six gods to come in and remove the dragon so that they can fill the dragon holes, as you called it earlier, Miko. Right. And that's where it's going to be. I mean, that's my issue with the story right now. I don't know how it's going to go, but if it makes it a lot easier to open up more of the real estate in Tyria, to go to the lands that we haven't been to where we should be, you know, then it's good. But it's kind of disappointing because that launch trailer, when they show Zaitan fly over, do the flyby of the airship, still to this day gives me goosebumps. Yeah. And it's a travesty how they ended that fight. And I think that's what it comes down to. They can't deliver the fight as epic as the dragons are.
We never got our Legolas moment, right? This is something that Aaron, Guild Wars Monk on Twitter says all the time. He's like, we never got our Legolas moment. We want to go in there and, you know, have the cool, you know, cinematic feature and then go in and take out the dragon, be on his neck, you know, stabbing him or whatever. Something, you know, we got to shoot at one from a ship, an airship, okay. While he's like clinging to a thing, you know, like kind of going, stop, go away. Yeah. And then the other one, we had to like fight the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's kind of how, you know, Hearts and Minds felt to me. It's like that's not the epic. It's more what you see in Dragon's Den, where you've got the big coordinated fight. That should have been like, that was like the marionette fight in a sense.
Even Primordius, we saw Primordius, or just now, you know, and I think that's what this is going to be, where maybe they'll just knock the dragons out with another machine and then they will only replace two of them. I think. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to close this story. I would at least rather see them in game and at least killed off. You know, it seems like they're setting it up because, I mean, you know, Timey was kind of like, oh, poor Bram. He's there with all the Norn and they want to kill Jormag and he's trying to make them stop, but they won't. And, it's like I said last week. Bram kicked the boulder and it's rolling down the hill, full bore. There's nothing that's going to stop it. The Norn are going to kill Jormag whether we're there or not, and why shouldn't they? They want their homelands back.
Right.
So it's still interesting to me. I don't know how they're going to do it. I hope they do it justice, but I mean, judging from how they handled Livia in the story and a couple of the other key players, I don't think they will. I think that they're just going to end it, and if it moves on past everything and gets us into a better delivery system, because that's the end goal. If it sounds good on paper, expansion, Living Story Season 4 by January, by December, really, by Christmas, before Winter's Day break.
Yep.
So, I mean, it sounds good on paper. I hope that the story lives up to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I hope so too. And as we were saying before, we'll see what comes in a week.
In a week, I'm gonna love the
1
expansion.
week.
I know I'm gonna. I always love new stuff in the game. Hi, Kit. Thanks for coming.
Kid.
Anyway, I love seeing new stuff in the game. Like I said, I'm super impressed with the mounts. The Raptor, I was on the Raptor for maybe 10 minutes, and I felt like it was always in game. And it just the beauty of the desert. I've always hated the Crystal Desert, and I kind of got a little on ArenaNet about how the silly triangle blocky pyramids don't really speak Crystal Desert to me, but I see I see how they built up the area and why they're there now, so it makes sense, so
I'm excited. We'll have it in our hands soon, which is just insane.
I mean, they did a great job with the delivery. It's nice. I mean, we could be it could have been like Heart of Thorns, where we had an 18-month
10 months.
Yeah, 10-month,
right?
10-month drought. So
yeah.
So that wrapped
Definitely
up the story.
better.
Anybody have anything else they want to add about that?
I think I don't know. I think I've said enough.
Beat the dead horse.
Beat the dead horse.
All right, so I threw it out there on Twitter that I was such a fool and I was so focused on Anise being Livia that I totally missed when the dude Lazarus said, "How's your children, Livia?"
Yeah.
I should have put it together then. I don't believe that Anise was ever meant to be Livia. Anise is Livia's granddaughter. So I thought about this at work, and I actually visualized Captain Obvious peeking up over the wall of my cube at me.
Yeah, kind of like
with a look like, do I really have to say it? So, but I like that. I wish it wasn't as inferred. Maybe it will be revisited in the game at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was him, Captain Obvious. So that was that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was very interesting when you popped that on there. I just started laughing right away, actually, when you popped it on there, because I could see you banging your head.
Well, a couple of people were, I don't remember who they were now. It was a couple of weeks ago, but a couple of people tweeted back to me and was like, yeah, that's kind of how I took it. I thought that's kind of how everybody took it. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point, Roma. Roma was asking in chat, how the hell did Lazarus know about her kids? I kind of took that when in the original story, when I saw it, I kind of took it as a insult from Lazarus, like, "Oh, how's your kids?
Like,
you don't have any kids, bitch."
Right, exactly.
That's kind of how I took it, and that's why it went over my head. But it makes sense that Anise is her granddaughter or great granddaughter or whatever she comes out to be, and I think that
the whole fact that she kind of just, what's the word that I'm searching for? She just basically caved to whatever and anything that Livia said. Yes, and that's not Anise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She didn't. She just basically deferred. That's the word. She deferred to Livia and everything. And the fact that I said this when we were streaming that episode was they were written in such a way that they were kind of very similar, which I think goes to support your point that they would be family. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, we lost your video.
You lost me? All right, hang on. Let me see if I can get it back. Yeah, Firefox is doing weird things lately. I'll get it back. Oops. Where'd it go? Here we are.
And Gord, I think you're muted.
I am muted. You're right. Whoops.
You were doing all kinds of funny things in the background, and it looked like you were talking, and I couldn't hear you. I'm like, something's not right.
Yeah.
He's just mouthing all of that. Like,
I have bad allergies right now, and when I hit my vape pen, it sometimes makes me cough from my allergies because my throat's so dry as it is. So I just mute.
So right now I'm master of the screen, apparently.
Not anymore.
And you're in 2 pictures.
Not anymore.
All right.
Hey, there you are.
Here we go. Yeah, Firefox has been crashing on me lately.
All right, let's fix this. There we go. All right, everybody. Nothing happened. Nothing to see here. Move along.
It's like
Move along.
nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Y'all pretend like we edited that.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. So nothing else to add for Anise? I mean, it does make sense. I guess I'm just trying to cover up my embarrassment that I didn't see it right away.
It's okay. I think how many times have you played through the story?
That one I've only played once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and I always take a couple of playthroughs before I feel like I get a whole grasp because there's so much that I miss the first time through, and I feel like that might be one of those.
Yeah.
You know, and that's okay. It's all right.
It is. I mean, I am excited for this expansion, and I've been saying it for a long time, and a lot of people have been saying it. So much is riding on this expansion. The one thing I do see is I think I see a direction for the game, and it feels like there is much more solid direction of this is happening now, this is what's happening next. You know, and like I said, the first 3 years of the game was pretty much an early access beta to me, you know, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. It's just they hit their stride now, so let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything else they wanted to bring up? No?
No, I think I'm done.
All right, good. So now here comes the undocumented question. Miko.
Yes.
What are you waiting for, or what are you hoping most for to come with Path of Fire?
Ooh.
Or looking forward to
I hate it when he does that.
I know. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Crystal Desert has changed over the past 250 odd years. I like to explore the world and kind of get lost in it. I think ArenaNet has always captured me as a player through their art style. Even in Guild Wars 1, I would just get lost in the world because it was so pretty. And you compare the two games now and you think, wow, Guild Wars 1 is, you know, definitely a product of its time, but there's still some beauty in that game. And I just want to see how that region has evolved. I want to see what Palawa Joko's up to, and I want to know if we're going to have to ally with him. I want to know. I really want to know why the heck Balthazar is, you know, back, and why we still. I feel like we don't have an answer for why he was trying to masquerade himself as Lazarus. Like, you're a god. Why are you hiding your identity? And okay, fine, you've hid your identity, but why as Lazarus of all people?
That works for me because that was a matter of convenience. Balthazar was weakened, and I don't think he could have come down and convinced anybody that he was Balthazar at that point.
But why Lazarus?
Just the convenience of it. It was the concurrence of the story. This was happening. Somehow he got involved. I think the theory, it was either a theory that I read, or I think it was a theory I read on Reddit, was somebody put it out there that Balthazar actually infiltrated the Quaticus, the white mantle, and was kind of moving up the ranks with Quaticus. But I don't remember if that was a theory or something. I did read it somewhere. But anyway, it made sense to me. They had to interject them into the story somehow, and that was the path that they took. We might get more, we just might get more detail.
Yeah, because the one detail that I haven't had a good or seen a good theory on, maybe you have, is when we're going through Cauticus's things in episode 4, right?
Why is Logan on the wall and the mirror on the ceiling?
Well, there's that. But we're going through the letters from E. I don't know if you did that collection.
Yes, I did.
We find out that Cauticus basically replaced the aspect of the true Lazarus, and he's like, oh, haha, they're going to get a surprise. So it's like, well, what did he replace?
The true.
What did he replace? Why is Cauticus still? What role has he had? Because it feels like it's yet another machination of Cauticus, kind of like giving the 2 fingers to the Crichton throne.
Well, that's what was the basis of the theory that I read, was that Quaticus gave it to Balthazar unwittingly. Unwittingly. He didn't know it was Balthazar. So Balthazar had it. At some point, Balthazar went to the reliquary and grabbed all of the god stuff. All of the god stuff was still in Abaddon's reliquary, which I don't understand why it was there. If Abaddon made it, that's fine. If it worked on the ley line magic, that's fine. They would have broke down in statues, and it wouldn't have been Abaddon's. It would have been the nameless reliquary or something to that effect. But at any rate, Balthazar at some point went there and took all 5 of the gods' most prized possessions. That's how he got Lys's mirror. He has something from Grenth. He has something from Duena. He has everything. So I think he used that to project. He must have done that first to project the illusions and be who he needed to be. He got his hands on that, and he had a fanatical group. So I think that all makes sense to me.
Tolvik in chat says gods are lazy.
Yeah. I mean, Balthazar is at any rate.
It could be, the idea that, well, I need to get my superpowers back because I'm a god. That he would have needed the bloodstone, so it would make sense that who's been trying to, keep the bloodstones powered up or steal that power? Well, let's just go to the white mantle.
Yeah. So the theory that is actually Menzies or Mingus is still in play.
Right.
Because all we're going by is Casimir's identification of Balthazar as being Balthazar. So for all we know, this isn't Balthazar. Maybe this is Menzies, who is bitter that he lost in the Fissure of Woe to his half-brother Balthazar. And he is just taking that mantle now to do whatever. Who knows?
There's also the cryptic lines of they'll see me now. I'll have my back or whatever. They'll see the true me. I'll be the only god now.
Exactly. So it could be that stuff's still on the table. Mingus Dingus. Menzies.
Oedipus Schmedipus.
Romo is trying very hard to get me to talk about the Grenth outfit.
Yeah. I saw that on Twitter.
I'm really trying not to, because I said all that I wanted to say in the privacy of our Discord. But I think I'm going to have to.
To go with a lot of the other, just say it's a phallic symbol. I've thrown it out there right now.
It's a fallacy of a phallic symbol.
Yeah.
It's not, Dolvik, no. It is. It is a schlong. It is a schlong piece. It's like, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, please, can we have a change? Please. Karaz wants Grant's codpiece. I just can't do it. It's so bad. It was a bad choice. You cannot put anything in, and this game is rated teen. You can't put anything pointy down around the crotch region. It could have been whatever. It's supposed to be the guy screaming his mouth, and it's just like, no, it's wrong. It's wrong.
That's right, Dolvik. Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh God. Please change it. Please change it, Ain't please.
Oh, best part of the show.
Yeah.
All right.
Moving
on. Gallius, what are you looking forward to most from in Path of Fire? There's no dub updates coming.
The Ritlock story.
Oh, good.
I'm looking most forward to the Ritlock story. I was curious about Palo Wajoko and how it was going to come about, but after our conversation last time, I kind of started leaning towards your side of the discussion on that. And so now I think the most interesting thing I'm looking forward to is finding all about Ritlock, even though you and I know, and we've been saying it for a long time, exactly what happened. It'll be nice to get it finally out in the open and cleared up and see if we were right or wrong. So I'm pretty sure we had it nailed pretty good. I guess back in the teens is whenever
what was your theory to remind your viewers or new viewers or listeners?
My theory since episode 13 of the show.
It was 13. Yeah, it was episode 13.
Was that the 6 would replace the dragons. I don't believe I said at that point that Ritlock would replace Balthazar, but somewhere along the line I did say that Ritlock is going to replace Balthazar. Ritlock might already be the god of war and fire, one of the 6. He could have been. I think we're going to find out that Ritlock was in servitude when he first went there. He had to prove himself to get his sword back or something along those lines. They're going to make the connection that he traveled through time, through the mist, and was summoned back. He was the Legionnaire Summoning Stone. I think they're going to make that tie-in, and I really hope that Palo Joko is not going to be in the current in Path of Fire, because that's going to be a rehash of Guild Wars Nightfall.
He's gonna be in it.
We're already
I don't think he's gonna
close.
be until the very end.
No, we are not deep enough in the territory. In Guild Wars 1, Palo Joko's palace was in that area, but I think he has moved further south into
further
Vabi.
south.
I don't think he is in the what was it? The Desolation anymore. I think he moved further south. And they've already given us hints that instead of trying to oppress the Elonians by force, he has kind of convinced them that this is the way it's supposed to be, and he's a benevolent leader. So we are going to find Elonians are faithful followers of Palo Joko, and that's going to be hard to combat.
Well, according to this timeline, 1175, the Scourge returns to Scourge again.
Yeah, that was Joko.
That was that was in Nightfall. Yeah.
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 1175.
He's going to consolidate his hold on the region to root out his enemies without interference from the rest of the world by closing the region's borders, blah, blah, blah. He kills or converts the Sun Spears.
Yeah.
That was after
moves
Nightfall.
in.
Yep.
That was the piece of story that we were going to get in Guild Wars 1 as part of the Guild Wars Beyond movement of the world, and we never got it. But he did come back, and I believe in that section that you're reading is where it says that he.
Yeah, I see the timeline numbers, the years now.
And he became an emperor. He killed the Sun Spears or converted them, and they work for him now. And He's just convinced the generations that, hey, this is how it's supposed to be. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm a very nice guy. I take care of you. I protect you. So I think he's moved further south. Paolo Joko will be in Living Story Season 4 and might be the big bad baddie for Expansion 3. Because I think, like I said, we're going to have to make our way to Cantha. And, you know, a lot of people said Cantha will never be... we'll never go back to Cantha because of the geopolitical issues. And it kind of hit me. Xingye Island, I believe that Xingye Island and Caning City were destroyed in the tsunami from Zaitan. It destroyed Lion's Arch. Why wouldn't it destroy Caning and Xingye? So I think that's how they're going to deal with that issue. It's going to look very different. We might even... half of that portion of Cantha might even be gone, and they're in the Echovold Forest and the Jade Sea, which is converting back to, well, there's some legend in the lore that the Jade Sea is converting back to liquid. So
slowly but surely.
Ow.
So, but that's what I look forward to.
Sorry.
I look forward to the Balthazar story. I mean, not Balthazar, Ritlock story, more than anything.
I think that nails it for me too. That's what I'm most looking forward to. The mounts are going to be fun. I love finding all the little callbacks. There was one hero point in Crystal Oasis that was the actual teleporter from one of the missions in Guild Wars 1.
Yep.
And you had to do the order just like you had to do in Guild Wars 1.
Yep.
Those kind of things are going to be neat and fun, but really, I'm probably going to blast through the story as fast as I can because I want that Ritlock story. So we'll see. But I think that's what I'm looking forward to most too.
And it feels right, you know, that we would find out with the Crystal Desert having that tie-in with Ascension. And the fact that Ritlock went down to the mists, and we don't know what voodoo he was doing down there, but it just feels like it would coalesce because Nightfall always sort of had this kind of mysterious vibe to it. I think more so than Prophecies, even I think for me, and even Factions, even though Factions was the one that I appreciated the most because you could level up faster in Factions.
I love Factions. I love the whole look of Factions. That was my jam. That was my jam. Yeah. All right, so I think that's going to do it. Are we good, guys? Yep. Anything else anybody want to bring up? This is it. This is the last thing. We're going to be completely changed the next time we get together and have a podcast. Everything's going to be different. Everything.
It's going to be crazy.
Crazy.
No.
Yeah.
Are we gonna be talking about Path of Fire story?
Yes. Yes, we are. And let me see. The next show we're recording on the 29th, which is going to be 1 week after the Path of Fire launch and 1 week before my wedding.
Yep.
Bum bum bum. All right, so let's see. So
so exciting.
Yep.
I wasn't ready. Sorry.
This is where the glorious editing normally comes in.
Yeah, this is what ends up in bloopers.
That's right.
We have less bloopers when we're on Twitch than we do when we just do it.
Right? Otherwise, it's like... That's what it's usually like on the show.
All right. So with that, we're going to take a quick break. And we'll be right back to close out the show.
Okay.
And we're back.
Hi.
If you can't tell, that is my favoriteest song from Guild Wars 2, the Tengu Wall.
Yeah, because you always play it the longest.
I love it. I could sleep to that. I could put that on loop and just sleep. And that is a remix of the Factions theme song.
Yep.
So
it's nice.
It is. I like it. It's a good show.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been extremely fun.
Yeah, it's been extremely fun. I can't wait for the next one. I'm gonna be so excited so excited for the freaking expansion. I can't wait for it. And I'm, you say what you want about Arena. I know that I kind of give them grief sometimes, but this is a really good plan for timing because, 2 to 3 months after Living Story season, the finale, we get the expansion, and we're 2 to 3 months away from the next Living Story. So, good
it's
stuff.
good. They've hit their cadence. I think it's if they can just keep it on track.
I agree.
And just maintain it. We're in for a good ride.
Yeah, we are finally. All right. So, Gallus, do you have any shout outs?
I do. I've got 3 shout outs. And you are one of them, Gord. I wanted to say, yeah, you were very instrumental. You were instrumental in helping me with Nevermore. You tossed over a few of those amalgamated gemstones to me. And I also want to shout out to Discreet Telemachus for doing the same thing. He sent them to me in appreciation of our show, saying thanks for all the entertainment. And he felt it was a small way to repay us. So he sent me some amalgamated gemstones as well. I have so many other people to thank for the little odds and ends that they sent over. For that in early stages of Nevermore before the flood. But yeah. So anyway. Anywho.
I went to put LOL in the Twitch chat and it was on that, and that's what apparently if you type LOL on a Purin, it just does. Sorry.
Nice.
Continue.
Very nice. Anyway, I also have a shout out to yet another 5-star review. New Guild Wars 2 player, very impressed with this podcast's polish. From Steph Young. I hope I said that right. Really great job all around. Info is interesting, relevant, and entertaining. The podcast is done in a way that makes it useful for new players, as it's given me a better perspective on the game. Thank you so much for writing into us, and we appreciate the 5-star review, and we hope that you continue listening. Thanks a bunch. And that's all I got.
All right.
Very nice.
All right, Miko, what you got?
I want to give a shout out to both of you guys for helping me out with World versus World tips and tricks for the leveling. And a shout out to Aaron, Guild Wars Monk on Twitter. He sent me some Elderwood and Mithril this week in the quest for a Shining Blade, which is basically bleeding my gold supply dry. And so, yeah, just thanks to all of you guys, and also for inviting me to be a part of this really cool podcast.
Yay.
Well, we're glad to have you in here. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's fun.
I have a shout out, and you probably saw if you're watching the stream because I forgot. I have my monitor.
Yeah, it just totally popped right up there.
I have a shout out for Cthulhu's Rising, I believe was the name. I meant to pull this before the show and I forgot to, but Cthulhu's Rising had sent me an in-game mail about some theory crafting that he or she was doing. And if I recall correctly, because I'm such a loser, I couldn't pull it up. If I recall correctly, it was something in the lines of Aurene replacing the dragons or something like that. I don't know. But I was happy to hear it. Of course, gave my slanted opinion and opinionated opinion back in the mail. And we had a nice correspondence. So I just wanted to say hello and thank you for the mail. That's it. That's all I got. Oh,
how about you, Miko?
No, we already did.
Oh, you
Miko.
already did yours. Never mind.
I did mine.
Again, I know I said it at the beginning of the show, but it's so nice. I'm going to say it twice. Thank you to Cho and Romo, everybody that came out, and Kit and Inks and everybody that supported us for the Houston Strong event that that we did on Wednesday. It was really awesome to be a part of that and just to be thought of for that, to kind of jump in and be a part of it. It was a pretty big deal. And there's a lot of things that happen in the world where that will make you feel pretty helpless, you know. And it's always nice to know that, you know, just playing a video game can help. So, you know, thanks again for everybody that supported us with that. Inks and Kit and Cho and Malthanis and Talking Scrit and Aaron and everybody else out in the Guild Wars community and host Vascalon. It was great. It was a really good experience. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Thanks a bunch.
All right. So Gallios, if
sure.
the good people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
They can get in touch with me at gallios.8142 in game. If you want to reach me on Twitter, it's gallios_GW2. And apparently I have a Twitch channel now that I'd totally forgotten about. So that's gallios_Shardblade.
No, it's gallios_GW2 is your Twitch address.
I'm sorry. I apparently keep looking at my my profile deal here, and it's all jacked up. So anyway, yeah, gallios_GW2 there as well. So anyway, I think that was all of it. Oh, and my Discord, Gallios #3334.
Good man. All right, Miko.
Execute stage left.
If the good people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
You can find me on Twitter at InkySticks. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/InkySticks. You can find me on Discord at Miko #3586, and I had to pull up my account to see that because I didn't remember the numbers. And you can find me in game. It's sanspen.6093, I think. But if you just find Miko space Riel RIEL, that will get to me.
I think that was pretty accurate, though.
Okay.
All right. And just to know, everybody's Twitch channel is on the SoTD podcast Twitch channel. If you click on their picture, it'll bring you to their Twitch channel. So, all right. So if you want to get in touch with the show, you can reach us at sotdpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at SOTD_podcast. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can reach me on Twitter at Gord the Norn. You can find me in game at Gord.8654 and always on Discord at Gord #4133. If you want to know anything else about the show, just go to sotdpodcast.com. I'm going to be doing some updates there. I have to update the show description and the co-hosts and what we're about and everything else. So a lot of work, but now I don't work weekends, so it's awesome. I have time to do it all. I'm so happy.
And we're not up till 3 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. 11:30. Holy shit, I can get 2 hours of WW in before I got to go to bed.
Hallelujah.
On reset, baby. Woo! Yeah, Discord server, it's a weird thing. So what I'm going to do, this is really temporary. I'm going to go clean up the overlays that we're using right now, and I will have a link to the Discord server in the top right corner of for the show. So that'll be there. The Discord server, if you want to join it, there is a link in show notes that release with the audio podcast, and there's also a link on sotdpodcast.com. So we're always available. Everybody can join. Come find us and have some fun with us.
Yeah, and thank y'all so much, all the folks that came out and watched us tonight on our first show that has gone live.
Yeah, we will
for
be
real.
We will be live every 2 weeks now. We're scheduled to record the next show on the 29th. Like I said, I will be in Vermont on the 13th. So I have a blooper special that will be coming out for that release. So we won't skip weeks on the show, but we won't be live that week either. So
all hail the codpiece.
May the codpiece be with you. Come on,
you guys are killing us, man.
It was so bad. We almost got through the whole show without freaking dealing with that. All right, say goodnight, guys.
Good night, guys.
All right, the recording is clear. Unbelievable. Shame on you, Romo. Freaking codpiece. The thing is disgusting. I was super offended by that because it's not just that, it's like subliminal with the fallacy of it, and then you look at it and it's like two guys are on, from a distance it looks like a dick and balls, straight up, and then when you look closer at it, it's two guys kissing the fallacy of Grenth.
Jimmy and the twins.
Yeah, Romo got top 2 on Twitter, and it was pretty fun. It was pretty funny. Two guys licking it. God.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's your thing, I'm cool with that too. But I didn't want to see it on a really cool outfit. Otherwise,
Yeah, because I would totally have tried to talk everybody into buying one, so that we could run out in our Mog outfits.
There was another one. It looked exactly the same, and there wasn't that big obnoxious cod piece. I don't know why they didn't just go with that. I guess they wanted to switch it up and be fancy, but you cannot put anything that shape in the crotch region without it looking like a dick. It's bad.
They've been, I just always laugh because you got to think that the devs are blowing off some steam because they've been under these deadlines or whatever. So somebody drew that.
Odd choice of words.
Someone drew that and said,
somebody,
is anyone going to catch on, or is this just going to get greenlit?
It's like the Little Mermaid. It's just like the Little Mermaid.
Yeah. It's exactly like Disney, just kind of going, let me just stick this in and see if anyone picks up on it.
So anyway, that's it.
Oh, well. Anyway, good times tonight, guys.
Yeah, good job. Happy to have Miko on the show. Next week will be full cast. We'll have Cora will be on too. So
2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks.
Did I say next week or next time?
I do it every time. We do it every time. Last week, yeah. Next week.
Because our shows, our lives stop when the show's not being done. Yeah, this is also going to be available.
Except the show.
Yeah, I forgot to say too. I'm going to be exporting these to YouTube now, so we'll have the video out, and I won't have to do a separate audio. I stopped uploading videos because YouTube, I guess YouTube's algorithm has flagged me as a pirate because of the Guild Wars 2 music that's inside. So now we use all of our Guild Wars 2 assets under a Creative Commons agreement with agreement.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
But they have been not only mirroring but flipping the image upside down, which isn't a big deal because I wasn't really putting it up there for the video aspect. It was for the audio for a couple people. But what is that? Dolvik's conspiracy theory. Gord wanted the big screen, so he stopped Cora from appearing this episode. No, Dolvik, bad Dolvik. No, but anyway, I stopped doing that. This should be fine. So these will be ported out to the Shadow of the Dragon podcast YouTube page, and eventually we'll get everything set. So Gallios does have a line. It wasn't your monitor, Romo. Gallios has a big line in his head that I forgot to erase because I had 3 minutes to put this together.
To fix the overlay.
Yeah, to fix the overlay. So
that's just an age line.
I did a pretty good job.
It's a wrinkle.
No, there's a little vertical remnant.
Yeah,
artifact, we'll call it. When you lean back, you'll see it. Look on Twitch. No, more to the right. No, to the other right. There you go. It's in there. I'm gonna Photoshop a cod piece in your ear.
Nice. Nice.
All right, so that's it, Miko. Thank you for coming and joining us and rounding out the team.
Thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
I wanted to for a while, but I just wanted.
Yeah, it's cool. I've been missing doing podcasts, so it's cool. Yeah. So thanks.
No, it's awesome. It's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Upload it, flipped, and upside. Yeah, I tried that, but it's the way they do it. Star. It's really weird. I put in a support ticket weeks ago. I just haven't checked on it. So if it's fixed, I'll put up the last episode, and I'll eventually get the whole library up there audio-wise. But going forward, all of the video from Twitch will be on the YouTube channel because it's just easier that way. So, good times. But thank you for coming out, guys. We will be back in 2 weeks.
Yep. We'll have story answers hopefully.
Oh my god.
By then.
Oh my god.
I know.
It stinks that well, it doesn't stink. I'm gonna have fun on Saturday, but I kind of wish that I could split myself in half and do half at the party and half here. But I'll have time.
Yeah.
I'll get through it.
Yeah.
Good times.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. There's Roman. There's like a automatic. There's an automatic from here. I've already linked my YouTube account, so when I stop the recording, it'll ask me if I want to port it over. It just does it for me all by itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes it screws up, but
Yeah.
but you can download now off of Twitch, which is cool.
I'll
and
probably
then just
do
upload
that
it.
too. But I mean, I have the recording from OBS. I already have it. So.
Oh, right, that too.
So.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Okay.
I'll see you in game in a few minutes.
All right, man.
Miko, I'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna kill Karen and Mo. Bam!
That's right. I
Keep
know.
that bitch.
Gallios, I heard you're coming with us.
Better watch the video. Go to cutify.eu. Get your build together. Get into the aerodrome and beat on that golem. I'll take you in there. I'll show you what buffs you need to put on.
All right. I'm not scared to do it. I just I've never done that, and I don't want to let nobody down. That's,
All you got to
my
do
only concern.
is kite. The mechanics aren't that hard. If you get agony, you run it off. It's very well done. You need practice. You're probably not gonna do it the first time. We might still be able to do it even if you're down. I heard you guys at Guildmag did a 9-man clear in 7 minutes on Karen. Pocklin was telling me.
That was this week. They went in on Karen. They were going to run it. It was a combination of the learning group, which is the one I'm in, and group 1, which is like Valiant's hardcore raiders. So they did a combination, and they went in and did a 9-man clear on Karen.
Yeah, I heard in like 7 minutes. I could have been a part of it, but I had to go. But I had the 7 minutes. If I knew it was going to take 7 minutes, I could have had my Karen.
You could have had your Karen clear. Are you going to be doing on the weekends now with us?
Probably not.
Con DPS?
I'd like to, not until after the wedding though.
Yeah, obviously.
So like mid-October.
Because wedding important.
Yeah. So I'm getting married on the 7th, then we're going away to Vermont the weekend after. So after that, the weekend should open up a little bit, and I am hoping. I'm already trying to butter up the wife. Hey, you think Sundays at like 2:00 would be a big deal if I spent like 3 hours on my game? Is that okay? So I'm hoping. But we'll see.
You might want to start putting little bitty presents under her pillow every once in a while between now and then.
Even if I don't want nothing, I give her presents.
Cool.
All right, we're getting out of here, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you guys.
Bye.